Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another review. And now I'm taking a look at Chuckie Egg 2 for the ZX Spectrum 48K, released by A&F Software in 1985. It's a sequel to the classic ladders and platform game Chuckie Egg that came out a year or two earlier. But this isn't confined to just one screen for its core gameplay. So basically, Harry has to make a giant egg. To do this, he must collect from around the fun factory cocoa, milk and sugar. 8 of each of these must be dropped into the correct vat. To add to the confusion, each egg must contain a toy kit. Ooh, Kinder eggs. The 8 parts of this can also be found in the factory. These are cyan and must be dropped in the toy maker. Once you have completed an egg, you must take it to dispatch. You will then be able to start on the next egg, but this time you will have more monsters to contend with. Oh, joy. You may use a joystick, or if you prefer, you can define your own keys for playing with. The game contains a save option which can be used at any time. You will be able to select your own key for this purpose. The game is designed to be an arcade adventure in that true sense. So remember that you will find items that can be moved from place to place and then used to get out of tricky situations. Quite a departure from the previous game then. A couple of hints: you find most factories need power to work. No, really? You only have 2 hands for carrying things unless... Some pipes are more slippery than others. Don't forget to enter the competition. Have fun. Henhouse Harry. Well, I actually, when I was reading up on this in preparation for this review, there was actually a high score competition going around the time of the game's release. I don't know whether anyone actually won anything though. I'm presuming someone did, but I don't know. Let's redefine these keys then. Up, down, left, right, jump. Take and drop, abort key. Right, let's do this. So here's our friend Henhouse Harry, and he can still bounce off walls like he's overdosed on sugar. Oh dear. Well, this is, apart from the fact that there are ladders and platforms, this is noticeably different from its predecessor. Bit of colour clash if he goes up the ladder, than there was in the previous game as well. Okay, so unlike the previous game, there's falling damage and you can't fall too far, whereas in the previous game, Harry could fall as far as he liked, as long as he didn't fall off the bottom of the screens. But that's not the case here. I have to admit, while the animation of Harry himself's all right, I don't think he's quite as detailed as he was in the previous game, and he's not as visually interesting either. That's a bit of a shame, really. So this time I grabbed the ladder manually, so I didn't have to worry about falling to my ultimate demise again. So you can see in the top middle of the screen, it's actually saying that I'm carrying a bone. Given what was on the sign on the very first screen, you can probably guess what the bone's for. And a wild guess suggests to me that I would not be able to touch that blue thing on the ceiling there, so I'm not even going to risk it. A bit of colour clash on the top of the grass there. Oh god, look at that clash. Yeah. More colour clash. Gotta love a bit of colour clash. Oh god, that was bubblicious. Oh, God. Yeah. Can't say this is massively interesting. What? Yeah. I thought that was an object that could be picked up, like the watch and on the previous screen, and that apple in the room that contained the bone. It would be nice if it could be a bit clearer as to what you can and can't touch. That isn't great design. So that basically means that people could potentially be afraid of picking something up in case it's something that kills them. I mean, why does that kill you anyway? It just looks like an urn. And I could understand people thinking, well, why is that deadly? Yeah. Shoes. Now that's exactly the same shape as that red thing I died on in the previous screen, so I'm not taking any chances with that. So, because a wild guess suggests to me that I would die if I hit that. Well, given that bubble that was on that other, given the bubble that was on that other screen, I get the feeling that that would have knocked me flying. And bearing in mind, as I said earlier, you can die if you fall too far in this. What the hell's an elephant doing in a factory? Oh, crikey. What are all these weird animals doing in a factory? I mean, you'd think that would be a serious health and safety breach. Spiders with 4 legs. Sentient beings would... Oh, what? I'm sure... I suppose that's one character square bigger than the fall I just did to get that key. Yeah. So I know I can fall that far, but I can't. Oh, okay, so the shoes don't kill you. Go on, I thought bouncing off the walls and platforms in the previous game was irritating. Oh great, now you've got tortoises. Seriously, what kind of a chocolate factory is this? I mean, I know I shouldn't be taking this so seriously. I mean, I'm not really. I'm just trying to enliven the fact that this isn't exactly the most interesting game in the world. It's not awful. I mean, it plays well enough, but it's just a bit drab. Oh. Oh, damn it. I thought I was going to just clear that. Why am I back there? I got to jump over blooming Leonardo here. Or was it Raphael, Michelangelo, or Donatello? What am I talking about? You can tell I'm a little bit bored. This time I'm not even going to bother jumping over it. I'm going to wait for it to pass over to the left and then... Pity you can't just drop off the end of chains and ladders like that. You actually have to jump, which adds an extra irritation of knowing your... Oh, God. Ugh. Some of the jumps are really fiddly in this. Ooh, milk. Now, like the bone earlier, I had to actually physically pick that up. Balls. No! Oh, thank God for that. Oh, bugger it. Yeah. So that's Chuckie Egg 2 for the ZX Spectrum. It's not that special, really. It's a nice idea making it a graphic adventure, but it just doesn't... It doesn't feel like a Chuckie Egg game. It's one thing to do something different, but compared to the zaniness of the original, where it was so frantic and fast-paced, Chuckie Egg 2 just feels so turgid and empty, and I don't understand why they introduced the idea of being able to die if you fell too far. Graphics, they're okay, I suppose. As you saw, there were moments of colour clash, but it's quite an early game, and it's not awful clash, and it's not as bad as the colour clash that was in Kung Fu Master, say, and that came out around the same time. God, the clash in that was way worse than in this. Henhouse Harry himself's animated reasonably enough, but I don't think he's quite as visually endearing in this game as he was in the previous game. The way he was designed gave him a bit more character, and and the animation was a bit more interesting. By comparison, his animation just looks dull, as does his overall appearance. And it doesn't feel like he's moving as fast as in the previous game either. Sound, well, you got that the sounds of him jumping and walking, and that tune that plays whenever you die. Can't really complain about that. Gameplay. Well, according to what I've read, there are about 200 odd screens. 120 screens. Maybe not. That's 200. Where did I get that from? Well, it might as well be 200. It certainly feels like 200 sometimes, because there are so many screens in which you just seem to be getting from A to B with little to nothing that actually needs doing on that screen. I can't help feeling that the game needs to be compacted a bit more to make the pacing a bit better. There's so many screens in which you're just going from A to B with little to no threats. And another problem I've noticed is, as you saw, some enemies don't kill you but send you bouncing about all over the place, which might be enough to send you falling too far to your death at times, but it would be better if there was some clarity as to what you could safely touch and what you couldn't. I mean, there was that urn-shaped thing, which I thought was something that you could actually pick up, and then you walk into it only to find it kills you. I can't help feeling that things like that should be more obvious visually, that there's something that kills you. I mean, something spiky, for instance. And I don't know why they put in the idea that you can die if you fall too far. That doesn't really add anything and just makes the game more frustrating. So I'm going to give Chuckie Egg 2 5 out of 10. It's one thing to do something different, but different doesn't always translate into particularly popular, and I get the feeling people would have only bought this on the strength of its name, given the success of its predecessor. But personally, I was a bit disappointed with this. And a wild guess, just me, a lot of other people who played it after having played the first game would have been as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that review. Catch you on another one soon. Texie88 out.